Cool. Okay, perfect. Super excited to talk to you today, Shawn Wells, about
Yes,
just
sir.
honestly your journey. You took over social media by storm. When you look at the comment sections on your page, I've
Yeah.
seen from this is the next Tyson Beckford. I've seen people say this is the finest man on the planet.
I,
Did you know that was going to be you one day, or did you? You tell me.
so basically, man, I'm gonna keep it all blunt with you, man. I grew up poor. I grew up being teased a lot. It was for my skin complexion, for my nose, the way I look. So I had no idea that I could even get this type of traction once it started. I promise. It was I was so subconscious about myself. I didn't even take selfies.
Oh wow.
So when I did that first shoot years ago and I posted it and I got 100, 200 likes, I was like, oh, like, okay, y'all might like Shawn, y'all might like me. And then I did the next shoot and it just started going crazier and crazier. And now we're at the point where it's thousands of comments and things like that. And I'm still like overwhelmed by it. I'm still shocked.
Nice. What does that tell you about blackness now, especially
Mm.
because of the things that you were teased about earlier on? Is it something that where it's like at an infancy part that people just look at blackness in a weird way, but once it's like grown and mature, which still isn't a good thing at the same time too, because no one should be teased about their blackness, but what do you think?
Um, man, I think it's like colorism within our community.
Yeah.
That's what it was dealing with because it wasn't like white people were making fun of me. It was our own brothers and sisters making fun of me that might have been just a little lighter than me. It got to stop one day. It has to stop, but the appreciation is definitely coming. I mean, dark skinned men seem to be getting the love that we deserve and that we all deserve. It shouldn't be segregated at all, but man, it's a time period. It's a time period. So waiting game.
I love that. So, taking over social media by storm, what does that really look like for people? Because it's funny because you took it over in an earlier stage now where now everyone's content creators. We go to your
Mhm.
page, you're very specific with what we see, right? You're not sitting there taking us on a 24-hour day in Sean's live. So tell me about from when you started to where you see it now.
So where I started was, the photo shoots, doing the hot guy thing. And I mean, that picked up traction. That got me going. You know what I'm saying? I'm not too much of a content creator, like you said. You won't see a 24 hours in Shawn Wells day because I'm just not a content creator like that. But now what I'm doing is trying to show more personality, TV personality on TV. I've been doing interviews a lot. So blessed to be sitting here talking with you. Things like this is what I'm trying to push my brand towards, just being more of a TV personality as well.
Nice. I love that. I love that you said pushing your brand towards more. It's about,
Right.
my word for this year is about being intentional. When did
Hmm.
you know you wanted to make sure there was this intentionality behind how you use all these channels and how
Hmm.
you position yourself? Because it can be so easy to get caught up in the type of wheelhouse of like, I'm hot here, so let me stay hot with this. But you were like, I got this, but now I'm going to go over here.
Basically, I'm looking towards, like, I think like what you said. A lot of people say I'm hot here. I'm not really focused on how many likes Shawn gets. I'm not really focused on how many followers Shawn gets. I'm seeing how can I get the brand to the next level. How can I have an actual foundation? So everything I'm doing is for the future. It's not for likes or I appreciate my likes. I appreciate the attention in the comments, but that's not what I'm doing it for. I'm looking to find some type of lane, whether it be acting, hosting, something like that, something more of a foundation than Instagram.
Nice. Now I would love to, especially talking about foundation on acting and our personality. You talk a
Mhm.
lot about dating from a millennial perspective, we're
Right,
both millennials and everything. So
right.
what made you say that this was something I really would love to like dive in deep? Because there are so many people talking about it in so many
Mhm.
varied ways where it's like you're like, some of y'all don't need a mic. Some of y'all need to
Man, I would say coming off of Too Hot to Handle gave me the dating the guy term at
Yeah.
that point. And then like you said, it's a lot of fake journalists and people on these podcasts giving horrible information to young men about what they should be doing in the relationships or how what women should be doing. Like it's just horrible. So I'm like, maybe I can take the opportunity to be a positive light for just dating for millennials, good advice for men and women to follow, not about, oh, women should split the first date. Man, we not having that. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, man, it's a lot of negativity with these microphones that I'm seeing, and somebody gotta be a positive light for us. Somebody. So
Definitely.
I just saw the opportunity, and that's what I'm running with. You know, it works.
I love that. My friend has one, and he has me on a podcast, and it was funny because we had this one young lady. She's about 28. She had all these ideas about relationships and everything. And I've been with my husband for going on 11 years. Now we're about to be married
Wow,
for 9. You know, so
wow.
like that's like crazy. So yeah, all these things. I said, wait, before we ended, I said, when was your longest relationship? She said 8 years. I said, when did it end? She said a couple years ago. I said, so you never really dated. I said, so you're just making up stuff. I said, you need to really figure this out before you go on a journey with another guy, because you are going to put this man through hell because
Right,
you just think you know what it should be about.
right. Man, I'm telling you, it's a lot of thinking and stuff like that, man. It really is, for sure.
From a millennial perspective, when you're going on dates outside of the social media and what they're expecting, what's something that you've seen has really, I wouldn't say ruined a woman's ability to like connect with you, but when their expectations, things that are like happening where you're just like, you're just approaching this the wrong way. Or even men from your friends, we can go from both sides that you see.
Right. I see a lot of people wanting maybe perfection.
Yeah.
You know, they want what they hear on TikTok, like, oh, he's doing this, and that. There's only so many men that are over 6 feet tall. There's only so many men that make over 100K a year. We get in this circle smaller and smaller. So it's like, I've been hearing these expectations. I'm like, wow, like everybody really wants perfection right now. And that's not realistic. You have to find someone that you like and you're able to, compromise and work with to make a successful relationship work. You guys been together, you said, for 11 years.
Yeah.
I'm sure your husband isn't perfect on paper, but he
Mm-hmm.
does a lot of other things that you love. And he might do a couple of things you hate, but you work with it.
Yeah.
You guys balance each other out. It's not you want your husband to be perfect every day out the week. Nobody's like that. Like, I see that sometimes. I see perfection, and it's just like, okay, baby, you want me to be this, and that, and I don't even know your last name yet. Like, this is getting, this is becoming a
Exactly.
lot. It's becoming a lot,
No, it's funny
man.
you said that because some people were asked like, "What's the secret to like marriage or a relationship?" And I tell people, I said, my only advice to you is remember that that person isn't you. That person is
Right,
not going to agree
right,
when you want them to agree. They're not going to disagree when you feel. I said, you guys want to build a bear. You guys want to build a person. I said that person comes with their own traumas, their thing. I
right,
said, when you're in a relationship, you need to make sure that you understand. Are you ready to take on someone else's traumas that haven't revealed themselves yet? Because
right,
it's easy to say I love this person, but once them traumas really pop up, them unhealed ones, what do you do? Because it's not that comfortable, because you don't know how
right.
far an extent of their ability to communicate, to
Exactly.
apologize, or to even be able to be with another person with, you know what I mean? Because from
Right.
trauma builds habits, and with habits builds expectations and perceptions. And I said, so just make sure at the end of the day, that person is not here to be your dog.
Right, right, man. I think, like you said, trauma is such a big deal, especially in the Black community. One thing I look for when I'm speaking to them is, have you been to therapy?
Yeah.
Do you have mentorship outside of your parents or your mother?
Mm.
Those are things that I look for when I'm speaking to a woman, because therapy, man, trauma is real. Trauma
Yeah.
is real, and it affects you. It affects your dating, your social skills, everything. So that, like you said, yeah, that's a really big deal to me. Yeah, that's top five for me. That's top
Top
five.
five, top five.
Top five for
When it comes to your own trauma or any of those things that you've had to heal from, what are some things that you felt that made you a better Shawn today after you discovered it and worked through some of those things?
Man, yeah, I personally have done 3 years of therapy. So at the age of 20, I had started when I was in the military. I had started therapy because they give us a lot of things for free and things like that. So I started therapy, and I noticed, like, maybe I have commitment issues. Maybe I have I'm sometimes too distant at times. I can learn how to maybe control my emotions better. I think sometimes Black men might have an issue with that just because I didn't grow up with a father, and a lot of Black men don't grow up with fathers, and you don't really know how to maneuver as a man sometimes with their emotions.
Mhm.
So, yeah, therapy taught me a lot about how to become a better individual and how to carry myself better as, let's say, a future husband or a boyfriend in the future, and it profoundly helped me. I'm the type to say like everybody should somewhat do some therapy, even if your life was great or not. It helps you with just personal skills in life. Definitely.
Nice. I love that. So, we talked about relationships. We got on there. So now let's get a little bit, everyone loves to talk about Too Hot to Handle.
Mhm.
Take me through that experience of getting on the show, how it was, and some things that we don't get to see that you maybe are able to talk about outside of the contract. Because we know there's contracts.
Yeah, yeah. So getting on the show was as simple as them hitting you up in the DM. The show is Wild Love, and they're like, "Hey, we got a new show, Wild Love. We would love for you to be a part of it. It's on a big major network." That's all you know. And then when we get there, we find out it's too hot to handle, and we know we can't be touching each other and things like that. So the getting on process was pretty cool. I think the only scary part about the process was when you land, you have to give them your phone as soon as you land.
Oh,
And
wow.
you don't even know these people. You don't even, I promise you, I was like, oh, I'm about to get kidnapped. My grandma gonna be so mad that I fell for this. Like,
You thought it was about to be Get Out Part Two.
oh, for sure. For sure. I mean, it's just, you're talking to people from London and then you barely don't know names and you find out you don't know anything. And they're just like, oh, we're taking your phone and you never see your phone again. I'm thinking like, oh, this is it. Like they got me.
They
I
got
can't believe I fell for this. And and then something I can talk about as far as within my contract, the cameras are everywhere. That is the most awkwardest part about the show.
Oh, really?
I personally could not use the bathroom for a few days.
Wait,
I
the
couldn't.
cameras are even there too?
The cameras are in the toilet. It's a camera. It's a camera in front of you in the toilet. Oh, man, man. Then showering in front of a camera, man.
He's like, this is.
Bro, we need to get paid a little more because man, like that was probably the craziest, awkwardest part. And there's a microphone in the bed. Like the cameras are infrared in the bedroom, so they know what you're doing underneath the cover. It's great. Like it's crazy, but the experience overall was amazing though. It's definitely a fun experience. I had fun. I think all my cast members had fun as well for sure.
Nice. What is it like after you're on a show like that, especially because when it comes to Netflix and their reality TV shows, it's
Mhm.
like this new notoriety that people either love you for or hate you for it. And obviously, we know they loved you for it. So, does it
Yeah.
change a little bit of, not so much like the status that you were looking for, but more of even outside of social media, do you feel people get to connect with Shawn even more now?
Yeah, for sure. It definitely helped with the personal side of me because I was very, like you said, I don't do the whole content thing. So it gave people a new side of me, like, oh, he's funny and oh, he's not a jerk or anything like that. So it helped me push my brand more open for sure. And is there backlash to this? I mean, being on a show called Too Hot to Handle is a hard standard to live up to. You know what I'm saying? Like you get on that show and people are going to immediately say, "Is he really hot?" She's not even hot. So you're going to get these crazy backlash that you didn't even see coming. It can definitely have its ups and downs, like you said. Like
Wow.
it can get scary for sure.
Speaking of when it comes to the whole too hot part, do you feel or do you know if they choose like sometimes not based off of like physical, for sometimes it's the too hot, maybe even a little bit of a mixture of the personality, or is it who's gonna bring something out of other people?
I mean, I would like to say everybody is attractive.
Yeah.
Everybody is attractive. Is it some people there that are more personality based than, oh, they're the hottest person in the world? Sure.
Yeah.
And beauty is all in the eyes of the beholder. So who's to say who's attractive or not? But I definitely think it's a personality thing as well because they make sure you're going to be, it's like even when they're casting, they know what they're doing. Like, like they know who would talk to who. it's all science the way they break it down. But yeah, I guess it's a personality and attractive thing at the same time, I would
Nice.
say.
I love that. I want to go back a little bit because you mentioned the army or military because you know you have to make a distinction because all the different. My husband, he's in the Navy, and you know, Navy,
Yeah.
Air Force, Marines, everybody's their own thing. You know, you talked about growing up poor. Let me know a little bit more about where Sean's from. You know, that type of thing, where you wanted your career to go to, and how we got you here.
All right, so Shawn was born in Ohio originally, right? My mother thought that I was always going to be an actor, a model. She always thought that. I was doing, started doing baby pageants before I could literally walk.
Oh
So
wow.
this whole modeling thing, the acting thing, that's been going on since I was 1 years old. Magazines and stuff since I was one. So that was always my mother's goal for me. Um, her doing that at such a young age, it kind of deterred me from actually the industry at a young age. So I was like, Mom, I don't think I want to be in front of the camera no more. Because
Mhm.
them pageant moms, they get serious. Them pageant moms, it gets scary. So I deterred from it all the way until 19 to where I was in the military. And when I was in the military, that's when my friend was like, you kind of look like Tyson Beckford. And I didn't even know who it was. And I was like, who's Tyson? And she's like, no, you look like this guy. You can probably model too. And I was like, I know I can't. I didn't think I could. And then I tried it and it ended up being successful. But growing up, no, I didn't know. I always thought I was gonna be like a spy or something, like a special agent. Like I literally thought I was gonna be like a 007 spy or something growing up. But no, I ended up being Shawn Wells, too hot to handle guy. I don't know how things change. But yeah, growing up, yeah, it was definitely some challenges, I would say. I wouldn't say the typical story though. A lot of ups and downs to make me who I am today.
Nice. What about when it came to being in the military? What branch were you in, and how was that? Because you know, there's all different talks about being black in the military and whatnot.
Woo.
What would you like to give us a little bit of background on that as well, too?
So I was stationed at Fort Campbell. I was in the United States Army active duty, right? I had sworn in at 18 as reserves.
Yeah.
The day before I shipped out to basic, I learned that I was active duty. So I promised on everything. They swindled me.
Oh wow.
So they swindled me, and then I got to AIT, which is like our tech school, and I was in Fort Lee, Virginia at this time. And I was like, I raised my hand to a sergeant major, and I was like, hey, how long will it take me to go from active to reserves? Because I didn't really sign up for this. And he laughed at me. He was like, active to reserves. He was like, I don't know, maybe 6 years. Boy, I went to the bathroom and cried. I'm not going to even lie. I
Wow.
went to the bathroom and I was like, wow, like I'm in the army. Like I'm not going home. Like this is it. And it's to piggyback what you said about being black in the military, man. Oh man, I definitely had some challenges dealing with either white colonels, white sergeant majors. That was definitely racist. Like I'm not gonna say the army ain't the place for a black man, but you can be in some situations dealing with your hair or your hair texture, women and men, that are unfair compared to maybe your white counterparts in the military. I was dealing with that for sure. Like, oh yeah, like I don't want to say too much, but it was. I definitely dealt with some discrimination. Oh yeah.
Definitely. Thank you for
Mm.
sharing with that. You know, with all of this that you've been through in your life, right? We have 10 minutes left. I always like to be conscious of our time, especially for you. What has life taught you about Sean and who Sean is as a human being, as a black man, as a one day husband, father, you know, and your place in life? Because a lot of times we have these issues of learning who we are and what we are meant to do on this earth.
I've started to learn that age is not a bad thing. Age comes with wisdom. I've definitely learned that every day or every year that you're alive, it's not about maybe you did the best thing you could, but what did you learn from it?
Mhm.
So since I've been, 17 to now I'm 25, it just seems to be like, yeah, I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot. And Shawn is still learning who he is because now I'm going into a whole new route in my career.
Yeah.
But I know for sure that I'm a loving person. I know that I'm a caring person. I know I'm genuine. I'm a down to earth person. And I stay true to myself. I'm happy that I waited until now to get into this era of my life than I did at 21 because I was immature. So I'm just thankful for the ride and that God had me wait until now. And I'm super thankful for what I am doing right now.
Nice. This waiting period now that it's like almost out of the cocoon, right?
Mhm.
It's important that people actually enjoy that waiting time, that time where it's not happening for them. And
Right.
what did that help you learn more about who you were?
Whew. Well, I had to. Well, when the social media stuff started popping off, you're gonna deal with a lot of women. I mean, it's like you said. I mean, when it's thousands of women in your comments and you're immature, you're gonna fall into that.
Yeah,
That can get you into a bad situation, or that can get you into like a situation of where you don't know how to live as a man without women.
yeah,
So me waiting, having this process has taught me like, nah, man, we got to be focused on the business. You can't be focused on women. Women are always going to be there, but I just think sleeping around and doing all the, having fun in your Instagram fame is going to deter you from building a generational wealth or getting to that next level. So me waiting, oh man, like I'm super way more focused than I could be at 21. 100%. Like I'm happy I waited. Other than that, yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy I waited. Just the maturity. The maturity was needed, man. I
nice.
did not want to be famous and immature. That's the worst thing.
That's the worst thing to
That's
do.
the worst thing. We've all heard these celebrities get into these bad situations, and it's just because your maturity isn't there. You didn't know who you were before your fame came. So you're just around people, and they're pretty much detailing you of who you are. You don't want people to make you. You want to make yourself. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy I waited, man.
Nice.
Mm-mm.
I love that. A couple more questions. One,
Mm.
I want to go back to about like, interviewing and hosting and different things for you. What type of host if or interviewer, if someone asked me to describe Shawn, like, okay, he'd be perfect for this type of story he wants to cover, or
Um, I think the dating thing is a option. Any dating show topics, like a Justin LeBoy type setup, would probably go very well with me. I could see myself doing like a game show type thing. I like traveling. Anything where it's not drama. Like I probably want to do too well with like fighting and drama, but like warm-hearted type things, dating type things would be more in my lane for sure. I would say because when you on them bad girls clubs and I ain't breaking up no fights and shit like I'm not. Yeah, I'm not that guy. Say that right now. Yeah, I'm not that guy.
Nice. I love
Terrence
that.
J. I look up to Terrence J. a lot. The way he moves and how he acts, he helps the community so much. I love Terrence J. What he does for the community and things.
Nice. I love that. And before we go, I have one last question for you. There are so many women that probably would want to know this. What is I won't say ideal woman for you, but what's the type of woman that will really get your attention and keep your attention?
For one, I've never dated outside my race, so a
Oh,
beautiful
he said
black.
she got to be black. Look, he said this got to be. If she can't use her comb, don't bring her home.
Hey man. Like you said, yeah. I never dated outside my race. One thing that is really big to me is a caring woman.
Yeah.
I think it's very easy to see if someone's caring or not. Now, some women do have their guard up because they've been hurt before, but a genuinely caring woman is what I go for off rip before attraction is. I am a sapiosexual, so I don't have sex or do anything sexual unless I know we have an actual genuine bond, or we're actually moving towards somewhere. I'm not sleeping with random people. But caring, I like a woman with talents, if that makes sense. Like you can have a big degree and everything like that, but what are your talents? What are your hobbies? What do you do on the side? Um, yeah, loving, caring, genuine person, talented. I'm not really that picky. I think a lot of people think I date like Instagram models and other models. No, no. I'm not like, oh, she has to be the baddest in the club. No, I'm not that type of guy. If she's beautiful to me, then I think she's gorgeous. Like that's how I run it. But I'm really not that picky. But caring, talented, and a genuine person that's like my main things. And she has to be a beautiful black woman. Offer it.
I love that. Look, and that's how we're gonna end this. This is a black
Awesome.
publication and it's black.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Oh, well, thank you. That's all the time we have for today, Shawn. I had a great time, and I
Thank
hope
you.
that the other person had too.
Thank you, sir.
Perfect.